So it was the first day that I studied at the University of Pennsylvania, and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how the professors were going to be, the other students. I didn't know how they were going to treat me. I didn't know about what the camaraderie was going to be like, how difficult the class was going to be, how easy the class was going to be, what I was going to learn. But I entered into this one class, and it was called Film Form and Context. And I said, this seems like a really fascinating class. So I go in the first day, and I see this professor walk on in. His hair was all disheveled. It was gray. It was long. It wasn't neat. And he had this very distinctive glasses. And I thought to myself, what is this guy going to be like? What is his personality? What is he going to teach the students? Was he going to be hard on me? Was he going to call on me in class and I wasn't going to know the answer? Was he going to be friendly? Was he going to be mean? I didn't know. The moment that he started talking on the first day, I said, wow, I think I'm going to really bond with this professor. He was just super nice. He came into class first day and he said, welcome class of 2010. What's your favorite movie? And I said, wow, is this going to be such an easy class talking about movies the whole 4 or 5 months of the semester? From then on, I said, wow, what a cool guy. I mean, just talk about movies during class, talk about theater. He would really try to teach the students about filmmaking, about history of film. He would bring in these videos each week about all these old-time film producers. And he said, wow, I think that one of you are going to be on this caliber one day. Film producers, theater producers, TV producers. And I really related to him. And I would go out up to him after class each session, and it was twice a week for the whole semester. And I would just, have just a friendly conversation with them outside of class. And I would be the only one that went up to him. Everyone else would leave. They would go back to their dorm. They would go to lunch. But I actually wanted to have a connection with him and learn from him. So he took me under his wing. Frankly, I was the kind of only one that would go to his office hours, and I would learn a bit more about filmmaking and about the business of film, and a little bit more on some of the theoretical stuff that he was teaching in class. And he was just such a great role model, such a nice person. He said, Rich, what do you want to become? What do you want to do? And I was in freshman year, and I just didn't know what I wanted to become, whether I wanted to go into entertainment or I wanted to go into something else, or photography. I did tell him about my photography interest in high school and all the travels that I did with photographers. And he said, Rich, how about maybe next semester I create a class for you specifically on filmmaking, and we could create a film during the class. And this was toward the end of the semester, and I says, wow, how great is that? He really likes me, And I said to myself, let me think about it. Let me see what other classes I might have in that particular semester. And I went back to him and I said, Professor Masaris, I'm going to take you up on that opportunity for you to be my professor in the next semester, and we will make a film the whole next semester. And he created a class for me. All of his classes ended in 6-2, and he had a class 162, 262, 362, but he didn't have a class 562, and he just made a class for me, Communications 562, and it was all about filmmaking. And it just really inspired me, each time I met with him, and just a true role model, learning from him. And he studied at Princeton University, and he was just always into filmmaking. I still remember there were all these photos of him like carrying these very big cameras like on his shoulder, and it was like very old school, like old time Hollywood. And he says, I would love to travel around having this big camera and feel like what it was like back in the 60s and 50s carrying a big film camera. Because when I was in school, it ended up all being digital, so they were much more lightweight, and I had a big tripod. It was very easy to shoot. But he shot all this stuff in film back in the day, and he's been a professor there for many, many years, and he taught students, filmmaking as well. But back in the day, it was all film and the heavy cameras. So he taught me a little bit of film and then also digital. But I just learned so much from him, and just a true class act professor. And he was my favorite professor at the University of Pennsylvania, and he was my mentor for, the 4 years that I was there. There was a film called The Penny, and it was about the good and bad fortunes of when you find a penny. It was about a penny that traveled along different storylines. People had good fortunes with it, bad fortunes with it, and at the end of the film, everyone that touched the penny connected somehow. So it was just truly an awesome film, and I learned so much.